Rockers in Recovery Media is dedicated to carrying the message of addiction recovery through music, news, events, and festivals taking place within and not limited to the clean and sober community.
Hey, Tim Ryan here with Man in Recovery Foundation. Just got in from Arkansas. Want to let you know, Rockers in Recovery is having a big event November 11th at the 101 Club in Pompano Beach, Florida. Going to have a ton of music, fellowship. I have the opportunity to come down. I get to speak, share a little bit of hope. Really excited about this event. So if you are in the Florida area, Palm Beach down to Miami, Lake Worth, whatever, head to the 101 Club. Starts at 2 in the afternoon, $10 entrance fee. Come on in, share some fellowship. Again, I will be speaking there. Really honored to be able to come in and be a part of this. If you want to follow me, you can check us out on Facebook, From Dope to Hope, or check out our foundation, www.amirf.org, or for my full-time career, I'm a National Outreach Director for Transformations Treatment Center out of Delray Beach. We will also be a sponsor for this event. Look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day.
Hey, John Hollis with Rockers in Recovery. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, being a part of tonight's show. And, of course, a great friend of ours, John Lehman, the Florida Association of Recovery Residents, FAR. You know, John this has been a labor of love for John. Been working on it for many, many years. And to watch it unfold and to watch what it has become over the years, I think John spoke at, the first time he spoke for us at an event was in 2012, and he's been at just about every meet and greet, and I think 4, 5, 6 meet and greets and 6 festivals, and he's just been a huge supporter of Rockers in Recovery. But I love what the Florida Association of Recovery Residents is all about and what his whole premise and what his vision was and still is. And I just want to bring him on the line and get him, to tell us a little bit about the association, and then we're going to start talking about current events. John, welcome to the show. Thanks for being a part of Rockers in Recovery and all the support that you've given our events over the years, and, of course, Rockers in Recovery ourselves. Give us a little bit of background on the Florida Association of Recovery Residents before we get started.
Well, certainly. And first, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on Rockers in Recovery and to participate in your events. And as much as your words are very kind about FAR, Rockers in Recovery has always been a very strong supporter of the Florida Association of Recovery Residences, and so we thank you for that. FAR is, has evolved. When it was first founded, it was founded by Nancy Steiner. She was the executive director of a recovery residence in Delray Beach called the Sanctuary. Ironically, the Sanctuary is closing its doors. It's a nonprofit owned by Eric Clapton's Crosswords Antigua platform, and unfortunately, as a result of all the negative press, national media attention that South Florida has received in the last year, the board of Crossroads Antigua decided to close down the Sanctuary in Delray Beach. It's a shame and very ironic.
Sad day.
Yeah,
and Nancy's a great person. Absolutely.
Yeah, she is, and she was one of the original members and founding members of the National Alliance for Recovery Residences, NAR, which essentially promulgated a set of standards, quality standards, for the operation of recovery housing, and then that set of standards was brought by Nancy here to Florida, and about a year after that occurred, back in 2011, I was invited to participate in trying to get the message out and encourage recovery residence operators to apply for certification. There wasn't any statute, there wasn't any requirement that they do it, and there were a fairly substantial number of quality operators have been around for a very long time that wanted to be able to identify themselves as being consistently delivering quality service, and so some of those 20-year-old platforms applied and went through the process and the rigors of qualifying to measurement of compliance with that initial set of standards that had been published by NAR. And around that time, there was a lot of effort by the NIMBY groups, by the Not in My Backyard groups, to pass legislation at the state level that would require sober homes to register. And that effort at that time, back in 2012, 13, and 14, was mostly about, we don't know where you're located, but as soon as we know where you're located, we're going to get rid of you using zoning ordinances. And we fought back against that. We were invited by the Department of Children and Family Services in 2013 to participate in a research study and answer some questions that the Senate Appropriations Committee had posed to DCF about sober homes. And then we also became aware that there were some bad practices taking place, both in the sober home area, particularly in the Southeast Florida sector, but also in the addiction treatment space. And we, as we became more aware of how those bad practices were impacting the lives and the wellness of the residents of sober homes and the patients of treatment centers, we began to advocate for law enforcement to do something about the problem. And that had to do with patient brokering and insurance fraud and all of the things that we've now, seen the media make a big deal out of in South Florida. But it's not just isolated to a South Florida problem. It's happening all over the nation. And then more legislation was proposed, and we were able to reshape that legislation from its NIMBY purposes to a more a focused attempt to improve the quality of service, and that led to voluntary certification of recovery residences to national standards. And then once that was passed and signed by the governor in the 2015-16 session, the Department of Children and Family Services chose FAR to be the credentialing entity. And lo and behold, this year, fast forwarding, the city of Delray Beach, the city of Boynton Beach, both passed ordinances that require FAR certification in order for a recovery residence or any recovery housing platform, including those that are owned and operated by treatment centers, to be certified by the Florida Association of Recovery Residents in order to achieve reasonable accommodation. So it came full circle, and we really had an amazing run with a lot of support from a lot of people. And now we get to focus our attention on how do we improve the quality of service that's delivered in recovery residences, and how do we partner with addiction treatment centers to address this new problem that we have, which is that people with an addiction or substance use disorder are exiting clinical care, and we're talking about quality clinical care, not the shoddy stuff, and typically relapsing within 5 weeks to 6 months from the time that they begin to integrate back into the community, and then they're recycling back through acute care over and over again, sometimes 3 or 4 times in 1 year. And it's costing everybody a lot of money, and many of those individuals don't survive. They die from an overdose, before they get back into care. And so we've got to make certain that we make a better mousetrap. And that's what this year and next year is about. How do we partner up to support individuals to develop the recovery management skills that are necessary to sustain recovery? How do we help them get integrated into the community and develop supportive networks as they migrate from the active use social networks of their addiction career to the pro-social, positive, healthy networks of their recovery career. And we're working with Dr. David Best from Sheffield Hallam University, one of the world's leading recovery researchers and treatment partners in South Florida, as well as some of the finest recovery residences in the country, to deliver evidence-based recovery support services using certified, trained peers to help those individuals bridge from addiction treatment to sustainable recovery. So it's just been an amazing 5 years, just an amazing 5 years. It's really humbling, and it's been a wonderful experience for me to be participatory in all of this.
Yeah, and you look at, you were just discussing the fact that over the last year, the exposure, Megyn Kelly did a huge interview, and there was stuff written in the New York Times, and there's stuff written all over the place. And if you're looking, I mean, it's everywhere. This isn't just something that is for the South Florida community. It's happening in the Philadelphia area. It's happening up in New England. It's happening out on the West Coast. It's happening everywhere. This isn't just like, a South Florida thing. So cleaning it up, really, you guys are like really running. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's going on in every major market in the country, and I think one of the things that you will begin to, whenever the media, and I'm not even taking pot shots at them, I understand it. Whenever the media gets hold of a hot, sexy story, they're going to run with it, and they're going to pretty much air all of the dirty laundry first, and that's what we've seen. But what I think is coming, and I know that it's coming soon because I've been interviewed, and I know of a number of other people that have been interviewed about this, is articles in a series of articles that will be published in the New York Times and other major media outlets about the fact that, A, this is a systemic problem around the country. It's not isolated to South Florida. Second, that South Florida is the first area of the country to blow the whistle and to legislatively and from a law enforcement perspective take action to address it. So while it's going on in Texas, it's going on in California, it's going on up in New England, as you just pointed out, Florida is the first region in the country to take constructive and definitive action to address the bad actors in the space, the predatory behavior of those that are just looking to profit off of this vulnerable population, and it was the quality providers in both the addiction treatment and recovery support sectors that blew that whistle and that funneled all of that information into law enforcement, and that demanded, frankly, that law enforcement take action to clean it up, because we all perceived it rightly as these bad actors had invaded our space and they were taking advantage of this population that we were trying to help. And many of those good quality, ethical, law-abiding providers at very great risk to themselves exposed this bad behavior going back as far as 2012, and consistently and continually provided information into law enforcement to support their efforts to clean it up. So South Florida literally is the one that raised it to the level that the media finally caught wind of it, and the media hasn't begun to tell that story, but that story is coming. And as that story unveils, I think what we'll see is the reputation will be restored. More importantly, to my way of thinking, is that in addition to all of the cleanup efforts, there are really incredible efforts underway in South Florida to improve the quality of care and support that is being provided to achieve this sustainable recovery model that is absolutely necessary. I mean, we have a addiction crisis. We talk a lot about the opiate crisis, and for good reason. But let's not ever forget the fact that while there there are a lot of individuals that have an opiate addiction. There are more individuals in this country that have an alcohol addiction, and more die from alcoholism than die from overdoses to opiates or benzos combined. So we have an addiction problem, and we need to figure out how we're going to improve how we treat people, how we get people into treatment, how we provide quality treatment to address that addiction problem, and how we support individuals who are exiting treatment and reintegrating into the community to sustain their recovery and get to that 1 year, 2 year mark where the statistics say there's a 75% likelihood that they will sustain their recovery for the remainder of their lives. Right now, the stats are atrocious here and elsewhere in the country. The majority of individuals who receive quality addiction treatment will relapse within 6 months of the time they exit treatment. And that's because we don't have support infrastructure in place. And we need to fund support infrastructure. Insurance companies don't pay for that. They do for other chronic conditions, but not for recovery. You can't get a recovery coach paid for by an insurance company. You don't go for a 90-day checkup to see how you're doing in your recovery paid for by your insurance company. My wife is a type 1 diabetic, and every 90 days she goes to see her endocrinologist, and the insurance company pays for that. That doesn't happen in addiction, and it needs to. And so there are a lot of steps that are being taken right now in South Florida where the leadership exists to improve the mousetrap and bring about enhanced outcomes. The Recovery Outcomes Institute has been formed here, and some of the world's leading researchers in the recovery space, academics from England and here in the United States are participatory in that program, and that's right out of Lantana, Florida. An evidence-based practice known as RECCAP, which is an assessment of recovery capital. It's a tool that was developed by Dr. David Best of Sheffield Hallam University. It's been pioneered here in Florida. It's an online assessment tool. It's about to be released internationally for use in the addiction treatment space as well as in the recovery support space through the Recovery Outcomes Institute. That announcement will be made public in another couple of weeks at the NAR Best Practices Summit up in Chicago. There's an effort underway right now for one of the managing entities under the Department of Children and Family Services to fund the delivery of recovery support services within FAR certified recovery residences to the indigent population using monies that have been allocated by our legislature. These are revolutionary cutting-edge technologies funded with state dollars to improve the outcomes that are produced by addiction treatment and recovery support services. So we're leaders in this industry. We've always been leaders in this industry here in South Florida, and that hasn't changed. We're still at the front of the leadership pack, showing people how to improve the quality of care and enhance outcomes.
Recovery Outcomes Institute, which is ROI, is offering a training to qualified peers, and that's at Hanley Center. Is that correct, October 13th?
Yeah, thank you. If anyone that's interested to attend that training and learn more about how recovery capital, what is it and how is it assessed, and what recovery care planning instruments are used to improve recovery capital over time. The training is at Hanley Center on October 13th, and if you simply go to ROI's website, which is recoveryoutcomes.org, You'll be able to register for that event. It's a free event, and there are seats that still remain. And Dr. Best from Sheffield is flying over from England and arrives here on the 12th, and he will be leading that training. And then he gets on a plane with me and some others, and we're flying up to Chicago, and the same training will be presented there as the NAR Best Practices Summit. That the state of Maryland is looking at delivering that service in certified recovery residences, as well as potentially in clinical platforms that are funded by the state up in that state. And there are other opportunities where we're having discussion with some of the major leading private insurance companies about funding pilots, because everybody's looking for a way to improve outcomes and to measure outcomes, and this instrument does both of those things.
John, you rock, man. I'm glad that you're still. We had a little scare with John a few weeks ago, and I'm grateful that you're still with us and hanging out.
Well,
you know,
I got to take a vacation over at that JFK in Lantana, and I got to tell you, had unbelievable medical care. The people over there in the cardiac department, and I had a stroke, and they saved my brain and gave me a little rest, and it was just incredible quality care. So I'm fortunate, but it's not about me. I mean, I am humbled, and I mean this sincerely. This isn't an unbelievable experience for me, but I have been one of many individuals that have been, really acute contributors to bringing quality standards to South Florida, and then beyond South Florida to the rest of the state through FAR, and then that has offered me an opportunity to participate with some of the finest minds in the world that are focused on how do we improve outcomes for individuals who have a substance use disorder, and it's an amazing experience to participate with these people. So there's a great article that will be released in Counselor Magazine sometime, hopefully before the end of the year. There's a series of case studies on this. Recently, there was another article that was published in Addiction Professional on this. There's been video recordings of some of the trainings, and that information is getting edited now, and it'll be up on the website, and it'll turn into a online learning opportunity in the future. So there's just so much energy around the good work that's being done by professionals in this space that are really dedicated to the well-being of individuals with a substance use disorder who are looking to achieve sustainable recovery. And I'm just humbled and proud to get to play.
FARonline.org. John's phone number is 561-299-0405. You can email John at info@faronline.org also. But again, John is, and of course the organization as a whole, as you can tell and as you heard in this interview, they work diligently on bringing the change that is positive for everybody to be able to achieve a better outcome with their recovery. They're putting the recovery community first and looking at what they can do to be able to make the changes that's going to make it healthier you. So in the end, what we need to do is support organizations like FAR and other organizations like them that are doing that type of work. So FARonline.org. And, of course, there is a donate button there. You can also donate to them if you'd like to donate to the cause. John, I want to thank you for being on the show. I also want to let everybody know that if you want to meet John in person, November 10th and 11th, John will be speaking at the Sobriety Rocks Music Fest put on by Rockers in Recovery at the 101 Club in Pompano Beach. We're looking forward to everybody coming down. If you'd like to get more information on that, you can go to rockersandrecovery.com. On the right-hand side, you can click on events, and you can see the event that's coming up. Again, November 10th and 11th. The 10th is the meet and greet. He's going to be speaking at that. We'll have some music. Peter Keys from Leonard Skinner. A bunch of other people are going to be there. Come on out, hang out with us. And, of course, the next day on the 11th, the music festival, and John will be speaking at that. This will be the last Florida festival. Rockers in Recovery is ending many years of being in South Florida. And we will be doing our last show in South Florida, and it will be the 10th and the 11th. Please come out and join us and be a guest. It's going to be a great time. We are raising money for the 101 Club that day. So if you could, spare $10 and come in. It all goes to the 101 Club, and all the food and beverages and all of that all goes to the 101 Club. And keep the doors open. John, thank you again for being on. I look forward to having you back, and I'm really looking forward to hanging out with you at the festival.
Thank you so much, John. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in tonight. Of course, you know that Rockers in Recovery can be found at rockersandrecovery.com. You can also find us on Facebook at Rockers in Recovery. I'm going to give you a little bit of a taste of who's going to be speaking at the event. Got our friend Tim Ryan.
Hey, Tim Ryan here with the Man Recovery Foundation. Just got in from Arkansas. Want to let you know, Rockers in Recovery is having a big event November 11th at the 101 Club in Pompano Beach, Florida. Going to have a ton of music, fellowship. I have the opportunity to come down. I get to speak, share a little bit of hope. Really excited about this event. So if you are in the Florida area, Palm Beach down to Miami, Lake Worth, whatever, head to the 101 Club. Starts at 2 in the afternoon, $10 entrance fee. Come on in, share some fellowship. Again, I will be speaking there. Really honored to be able to come in and be a part of this. If you want to follow me, you can check us out on Facebook, From Dope to Hope, or check out our foundation, www.amirf.org, or for my full-time career, I'm a National Outreach Director for Transformations Treatment Center out of Delray Beach. We will also be a sponsor for this event. Look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day.
All right, guys. And we're going to go out with our friend Mike Zito. Mike Zito, you can check out bluesman.com or MikeZito.com. And, of course, this song is Keep Coming Back. You guys have a rockin' night, and we'll look forward to talking at you tomorrow night.
To the light, keep coming back. Give your brother to the blues. Keep coming back, Lord. What you got to lose? Well, I walk the road of thunder. I walk the road of pain. Yeah, my ego got the best of me, and now life is living in vain. It's when I hit rock bottom, gods from up above keep coming back. Give your battle to the blues. Well, keep coming back, boy. I mean, what you got to lose? Well, keep coming back. Give your battle to the blues. Keep coming back. Yeah, baby. Keep coming back. Oh, what you got to lose?
Rockers in Recovery Radio is based on opinion only and is not meant to treat or diagnose any health or mental health issue of any kind. If you feel you need help for any health-related issues, please contact a physician or mental health professional. The opinions expressed by our guests are not necessarily those of Rockers in Recovery.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.